Hello and welcome back to Sonic Generations PC. Now in this video we are going to be doing the last of the classic Sonic side missions and red rings. So hold on to your butts, to quote Jurassic Park. One of the best movies ever. But look at that video length, over 26 minutes in this part. Now, that's a combination of a couple things. You know, Planet Wisp is the last level in the game, and naturally it is the most difficult. And also it has the worst gimmick of all the levels in the Wisps power-ups, which, you know, Wisps were really cool in Sonic Colors. It had been a while since we had seen Sonic platform with a power-up that was different from like speed-up shoes or something like that. So Wisps kind of filled that role. Unfortunately, the pink spike Wisp that we have in this game doesn't quite work as fluidly as you'd like it to. I think the biggest problem with it is that sometimes you can't quite tell which direction you are facing, so that when you spin dash while in pink spike, just like there, I thought I was going the right direction, but because I was the pink spike, I totally went the wrong direction. Now I'm wasting time doing this over again. It kind of really can stunt your progress, and I've seen other playthroughs of Sonic Generations where they make the pink spike look a lot more useful and a lot more usable, but overall my experience with the pink spike in Sonic Generations, not the most positive. I think we could have done with a little less of it. And another thing is, the Planet Wisp classic remix, I think, is a pretty cool remix, but when you're in Wisp form, all you get is that type noise, and it cancels out the music altogether, so you kind of miss out on even listening to the music, which is unfortunate, because Sonic has some of the coolest music in all video games, and some of it's just very, very unique as well. You don't hear songs like Live and Learn, or Open Your Heart, or Reach for the Stars in Mario. You know, Mario has very cool, orchestral, like, fun themes, but they're not Sonic songs. The Sonic songs are on an entirely different level, and Sonic games are an entirely different level. See, Mario and Sonic have been rivals for a very long time, and one of the reasons is because they are part of the same genre, the platformer genre of video games. But the key differences between Sonic and Mario are this. Okay, Sonic is a momentum-based platformer with linear design, which rewards people who explore and go off the beaten path, and Mario is a pile of garbage and is not fun. And it has a lot of cool ideas, which, granted, are cool, but they overstay their welcome a lot. I think that's kind of selling Mario games a bit short, and I'm not gonna lie, there are a few Mario games I really do enjoy. I really like Super Mario 3D Land on the Nintendo DS. I have that in my DS right now, actually. But you know, songs, if you go to like Super Mario 64, you basically, it has this weird illusion that there's a bunch of different levels in the game, when really it's just a handful of levels, each with a slightly different objective each time, and you're just looking at the same thing over and over again. See, Sonic games are technically shorter, but I'd rather take the more fleshed out levels that we have in Sonic games as opposed to Mario, which reuse the same thing for 5 different missions. I mean, I did enjoy Super Mario Galaxy, but basically once I got enough power stars to reach the end of the game, I kind of stopped playing. I didn't really feel a need to go back and play the level over again, because it had the same, thing going on with, as Super Mario 64 did, where, he's sent to the same area each time, has to do a slightly different objective. So, I mean, and a lot of that really is preference. I'm a Sonic fan, I'm not necessarily a Mario fan. I really like playing as Mario in Super Smash Bros. I think he has one of the cooler, more fun movesets. In fact, I might be a better Mario in Super Smash Bros. Than I am a Sonic. I play a lot of Sonic in Super Smash Bros., but I think I can beat my friends more consistently with my Mario than my Sonic. Or my girlfriend has a Pikachu, which is like the toughest Pikachu ever. And, I watch a lot of Super Smash Brothers videos, kind of like, just when I'm doing other things on the internet, I have those playing, and I learn a lot about Super Smash Brothers. So I go into playing Super Smash Brothers with my girlfriend, and I'm thinking I have so much more knowledge than her in everything, but then I kind of have to throw that out the window, because she's doing all these different things with her Pikachu that I just am not prepared for, and I could get my butt kicked by that Pikachu. My blue hedgehog has no chance against that yellow mouse whatsoever. Anyway, that was the doppelganger race. But basically, my grievances with Planet Wisp. I mean, there's a couple different grievances with Planet Wisp that kind of make it feel like a anticlimactic level. Sort of with the fact that you're in a factory for most of it, as opposed to the actual planet Wisp, because basically the idea is that the Planet Wisp levels is a part of Dr. Eggman's Intergalactic Amusement Park, which is still under construction. So parts of the organic planet are still there. However, you can still fight enemies on the under construction zones. The problem is that I would much rather see more organic life than this, industrialization that's going on. And I get the theme, but I think I'm not the only one that would appreciate more green in these levels, because especially when we get to the modern Planet Wisp, it looks gorgeous. The colors really look cool at 1080p, 60 frames per second. It's a great looking level. And not to say that the construction parts look bad, it's just less interesting to look at. And with everything having the same color scheme, it's very easy to get lost in the construction sites. So, I don't know, it just seemed like a little bit of a missed opportunity. And to be completely honest, I hadn't played Sonic Colors before Sonic Generations. I didn't get a chance to play Sonic Colors because I did not own a Wii. I only had an Xbox 360 during that time frame. And it wasn't until I got a Wii U in 2012 that I finally got a chance to play Sonic Colors. And I love Sonic Colors, I really do. It's a ton of fun. But, and now that I've played it, I thought maybe going back to Planet Wisp, I would have more of an appreciation for the level, but it's still kind of a drag in a lot of ways. It's still fun because it's Sonic Generations and every level is fun, but it's the least fun at the same time, just due to level design choices that didn't really seem necessary, all that stuff. So next we have another Rescue the Animals level. The egg ponds from the more recent Sonic games, I'm not sure if we've confirmed or denied those are made using the power source of animals. I know the bad nicks, the ones that look like creatures like the Moto Bug and the Slicers and stuff like that, we know those have animals in them. And in Sonic Lost World, we actually do get a chance to see animals getting put into Moto Bugs. However, I'm not sure if egg ponds are powered by animals. I think at this point in time, only actual bad nicks are powered by animals. So, that's cool. But it's cool to see the Rescue the Animals stage in this level, considering the theme, you know, the industrialization theme of Planet Wisp. Seems to fit in right here. The only upsetting thing about this is that the biggest pace breaker of all time is in this level. That little robot that shoots out the bombs. He always puts them in the most inconvenient places, and I get that he's supposed to be an obstacle, but there's already so many things in this level that can hurt you. You have to it seems like overkill will throw a robot following you around, throwing bombs at you into the mix. It seems really like overkill. It's just a blue hedgehog. And also, we're having to deal with the seesaw mechanic, which has always been kind of a pace breaker on its own, because you gotta wait for the ball to come back down, and sometimes you need to do it multiple times in order to get the seesaw to launch you in the right direction. Ever since those were introduced in Hilltop Zone, I've never really cared much for them. But what's one hiccup in an otherwise really, really excellent game? You know, some of the best games of all time have glaring flaws. Grand Theft Auto 5, filled with glitches. Tons of glitches. But it's still part of gaming history for, you know, what it did, and people are still playing the crap out of it nowadays. You know, every single day people are getting on Grand Theft Auto 5 to play more of it, because it's fun. Flaws and all, it's a ton of fun. And there I actually showcased that you can actually hit the robot. It doesn't die, and it really doesn't miss too much of a beat, but you kind of stun it for a second. So, if you can consistently hit it, I guess that's a way to kind of get past the annoyances it has, but it's really not worth it. You'll get through the level faster if you just don't hit it. But yeah, so what are a few bad side missions in Sonic Generations when the rest of Sonic Generations really good, really good. The next level is Chase After Blaze, and you're using the pink spike a lot in this level, but for some reason, I don't know if on that doppelganger race I just had a hard time, you know, readjusting to how the pink wisp worked, but I actually do really well in this side mission here. Basically, you just need to keep chasing Blaze around. There's a little head there that shows you where she is, and usually if you just kind of stick to the nearest wall, she's going to be doing a similar thing. So you just got to make sure to jump when you need to and spin dash when you can, and you'll get to her right away. You know, I'd even collected a bunch of different time power-ups, so the clock actually said I beat that level in 2 seconds. I mean, obviously it took longer than that, but that's a very easy S rank. Luckily, in order to get the all S rank achievement on Steam, you only have to S rank the main acts. You don't have to S rank all of the side missions, which I am thankful for, because there are a few side missions I would not enjoy practicing to the point where I can S-rank them. That's asking a lot from me. But I think we have one more side mission, then we're good to go collect the red rings. Or maybe we're done. No, there's still too much white left in the white world version of Planet Wisp. Because when you do all the side missions, and I'm sure I mentioned this when I first started doing side missions, you bring more color back to the stage. So when you do all 10 of the side missions for each one, you have all of the parts of the hub world colored. So. Now this is a really cool side mission I actually like a lot, because it uses the elemental shields from Sonic 3 and K. And it gives you a good opportunity to use all of them. Usually when I'm playing the levels on my own with my own build of power-ups, I kind of stick to Thunder Shield, but this level in particular makes you use all of them. Although, I'm not sure if the water one is, or I guess Bubble Shield is what they call it, is necessarily required, because the effect of Bubble Shield is relatively similar to Thunder Shield, and I think it actually makes you go higher, only you need to have a place to bounce off of. I think that's the main difference of it. Because I think it really does get you to go a little bit higher. And I am going to use it in this level. I'm going to use it right here to do this platforming section, which I think is what they're expecting you to do. But I'm not sure if Thunder Shield would have made that jump there. Or maybe it's just they want you to use the Bubble Shield to collect those bonus rings there. Who knows? But yeah, there's no underwater segments to breathe underwater unlimitedly, so it's kind of only using it for its double jump capabilities. The fire one is definitely the most useful in a lot of ways, because there are a lot of segments with fire in Planet Wisp, and this side mission is not any different. But for red ring collecting, and if I want to explore different routes, I usually go Thunder Shield. It's usually the best option for doing those sorts of things, just because the double jump gives you a lot more options, and certain platforming sections can really become a lot easier to get the double jump. One thing I really miss from Sonic Colors is that you had a double jump by default in that game, and you would only homing attack things if you were locked onto them. If you weren't unlocked to any enemies, you'd do a small double jump, and it wasn't a full jump. I don't even know if it was another half jump, but it was just enough to kind of help with some of the more specific platforming sections, and I really did appreciate it. And it was a lot more useful than the air dash, which we have in this game, which is basically a failed homing attack, because it had no target, and it would just kind of launch you forward in the direction you were going. The double jump in Sonic Colors was very useful. Anyway, now I just have to go collect those pesky red rings, and this is where editing this video became pretty difficult, because I was stumped on a few of these red rings. I could not remember where they were. I even asked Charmy here where they are, but I still had to do multiple attempts. And it's kind of funny. I was doing this whole long playthrough, over 30 parts, to collect every collectible in Sonic Generations, and it more or less went off without a hitch. I didn't have to spend too much time playing it, but then I hit Planet Wisp, red rings, and it just gave me the biggest problem. And it's not like I'm burnt out on this game. I did take a break from playing the game for a while, and it is one of my favorite games of all time, so it's not like maybe I was just having a bad session or something like that, where I just couldn't precision platform as well as I usually can. But for some reason, every time I got a pink spike power-up, I kind of cringed, because I was having a really hard time that night controlling the damn thing. And it is required to get just about every red ring in classic Planet Wisp. So here I'm happy that I have the Thunder Shield, and when you go into Wisp mode, you'll come out of it without your Thunder Shield, but you can still reactivate it. So it's a really nice option for saving that double jump option, because you know, collecting red rings, I had mentioned it's my favorite power-up to use when collecting red rings, and you know, that's why. Anyway, the first one's right there. The ones in this first factory are probably the hardest to miss because there are the most ways to move around in the entirety of the game, right? Entirety of the level, I mean, right there. And before you get to the end segment of the first factory, you have to get that ring, which is the route that takes you to the top level to get back to the outside world. But I have to record that one separately because I couldn't find it on my first go at this level. But I just splice it in there. Yeah, I'm not trying to hide it, but I did just splice it in there. But it was funny, when I was putting all of these videos into my video editor, it said that I had 45 minutes of Planet Wisp to, you know, record through, and here we are at, you know, the 27-minute long video. So there was 20 minutes of me just fumbling around looking for a red ring, which is actually pretty easy to get. They're hard to find, but once you know where they are, they're not hard to collect. It's kind of opposite of Crisis City in that way, where Crisis City, they were really easy to find, they were just kind of a trick to get to. So, and it was also a trick to find where I actually found the red rings while I was video editing, because there's not really a good tell in the video itself to say, hey look, I'm collecting a red ring, because a lot of times, as soon as you see one, you're collecting it, and they're not very big items, so they can be pretty difficult to find if you kind of pinpoint where they are in a video editor. So that was a lot of fun. It was actually pretty time-consuming doing that part. But either way, I kind of just, at this point I was kind of getting frustrated that I couldn't find the red rings, and I'm getting hit by a lot of things too. I don't claim to be a perfect Sonic Generations speedrunner. I'm a huge fan of Sonic Generations, but there are still parts which can trip me up pretty badly. But either way, we're almost done here. We're already over halfway through the level, and we've already collected the red rings, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, we've already collected all the red rings we are missing, because we were only missing 2. So we just need to get to the end of the level safely without getting game over, which I did stockpile lives, you know, just in case there was a possibility of me having to restart a bunch of times, because when you restart a level, oh, there's the other red ring. Just go through those hoops and get to the next red ring. But when you start over the level, it actually costs you a life, and I feel like it shouldn't, because you're choosing to go back all the way to the start of the level, but for some reason it's necessary for them to take away one of your lives. And the only unfortunate thing about lives is, a lot of people say that lives don't matter in a game with save points, and to an extent that's true, but on these more linear and longer levels, if you run out of lives and you don't get to start from your last checkpoint, it can be kind of frustrating, so there's that. It was more annoying in Sonic Heroes when you got a game over, like, because those levels could go on for a long time, and they were not nearly as fun as Sonic Generations, so a bit of a difference there. just, you spend so much time as the Pink Spike, it kind of gets annoying after a while in this level. I think we could have dialed back the Spike more than a little bit. And this section right here is so annoying, because you gotta get to all of the cogs and then spin dash to get them to move the other cogs in order to make the platform appear out of midair. It doesn't even show like a platform moving because you moved the cog a certain way. It just kind of appears once you get the cog to go the right way. It seems like there was a little bit of missed opportunity to make it more mechanical there, because you just have floating cogs, that's all it is. So, but luckily we got through that fairly quickly. Planet Wisp is easily the longest level in the game, but unfortunately longer doesn't mean more fun. At least it's not Eggman Land. Sonic Unleashed had a level called Eggman Land, which, no joke, took over an hour to play. Imagine getting a game over towards the end of Eggman Land. And now that's frustrating. That's why you should stockpile lives for that game. But anyway, that is it for Classic Planet Wisp. That's actually the end of Classic Red Rings and Classic Side Missions. So, we did it. 45 Red Rings and 45 Side Missions for Classic Sonic. Now we have to go finish off Modern, so I'll see you then.